Hello, and welcome to this short module on curriculum modifications.
Sally, find the blue diamond.
You'll learn what we mean by a curriculum modification and see some of the different types of modifications that teachers can make. Curriculum modifications can help children take full advantage of the learning activities, routines, and materials in your classroom or in any learning environment. These modifications can be helpful to any child who is struggling to participate. The House framework helps us organize the important components of effective practice that support school readiness for all children. The foundation of the House represents effective and engaging interactions and environments. The pillars contain the research-based curricula and teaching practices, as well as ongoing child assessment. The roof represents highly individualized teaching. All the components interact with each other and are necessary for effective practice and positive outcomes. Curriculum modifications fit into the roof of the house, highly individualized teaching. The roof consists of 3 tiers of support: modifications, embedded teaching, and intensive individualized teaching. In this module, we learn about curriculum modifications. A curriculum modification is a change to a classroom activity or to the classroom materials in order to maximize a child's participation. These changes aren't big, but they are intentional.
Could you ask him if there's anything he wants me to know about the caterpillar?
Here's one way to think about the significance of curriculum modifications. They are small changes that can have a big impact.
He said that, see them walking.
You see him walking.
There are many ways to modify or change the curriculum. It can be useful to think about 8 different categories or types of modifications: environmental support, materials adaptation, activity simplification, child preferences, special equipment, adult support, peer support, and invisible support. Let's take a peek at each of these and start to learn more about making modifications. You may already be using some of these practices. Environmental support means that you alter the physical, social, or temporal environment to promote participation, engagement, and learning. Materials adaptation means that you modify the materials, make them bigger or easier to use.
Nice job. You wrote your name. Next.
Who works
I'm going to add this. Put your fingers on the sticker. There we go.
Simplifying the activity means that you break it down into smaller parts or even reduce the number of steps.
Okay, what's next, Markel? What is next? What's next? Boots first and then Colt. You're right. Boot first.
Another way to modify the curriculum is to take advantage of the child's preferences. Use preferred materials, activities, and people to encourage the child's participation. You can also use special equipment to help a child gain access to an activity or use toys or materials. Adult support is another type of curriculum modification. Adults join in, they model, and they encourage. And so do peers.
It's moving. Look, it's still moving.
Peer support means that other children model and encourage participation. Finally, there are modifications called invisible support.
I think what helped was when I asked him to take the leadership in the drumming, he really was very interested and engaged.
Sometimes teachers rearrange naturally occurring events within an activity to help a child participate more fully. There are many ways to modify the curriculum. Use our longer module and the mini modules that provide more description and examples of each type of modification. Use curriculum modifications, or simple changes, for children who aren't taking full advantage of the learning activities. Use modifications when a child isn't able to use the materials or toys. Use modifications to help capture a child's interest in the activities, interactions, and routines. Remember, curriculum modifications are relatively small changes, but they can have a big impact on a child's learning. Thank you for listening. Learn more by going to the longer modules and using the tips, tools, and resources. Learn how to be intentional about making and using these modifications. Find out what works in your classroom.